I'm going to admit I'm having some fun. So this is 33 hertz. We got a special treat for you tonight as we actually have an L7X 15 in a cabinet that we're going to power up and play for you here in a little bit. I temporarily borrowed it from R&D, but this, I think the cabinet is about 7.6 or 7.8 cubic feet. It's tuned at 27 hertz is the tuning frequency on this, and this has one of the L7X 15s in it. I got a KXA 2400 here and a tone generator, so we're just going to have a little bit of fun and show you an L7X 15 doing its thing. We're thinking that probably optimal box, our recommended optimal box for this is probably going to be somewhere into the mid, maybe 6.5 or 6.8 cube, we think. The thing is, we know what computer programs tell us. We know what modeling tells us. I mean, we have all those tools. I mean, you've been here, Steve, you know that. But at the end of the day, we want to actually build enclosures and run them through testing and verify what things work. So this is the first box that we built up for the L7X 15. There's more boxes coming that we're going to try. So what I've got going on here, I'm just going to fire everything up. I've got an SMD. I've got one of his AMM1 meters here in line so we can actually look at how much power we're dumping into the L7X. And the reason I thought this was important was I think you're going to find that the efficiency of this driver as far as how much power it takes to do what it does. Will it take 2,000 watts, 2,500 watts? Will it take big power? Yeah, but you're going to see what it does is, it's pretty amazing what it does on little power. This is 8 hertz, so in case anybody wants to know.
Yes, indeed.
Is it still 8 hertz?
Yeah, 8 hertz, and that's at 650 watts.
Okay.
And hopefully that's getting captured on the screen. Ramondo's here watching it, and when I tell you that thing's moving back and forth about 3.25 to 3.5 inches, I'm not exaggerating.
It's moving more than what it looks like on camera, that's for sure.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys caught that. It's hard to really capture this on camera, but with Ramondo here, hopefully, he's my third-party testimonial, has nothing in the game, but I mean, but that's at 8 hertz, guys. That's 8 cycles. So
That's crazy.
Here's 5 hertz.
Well, that's a good-looking subwoofer, isn't it?
For real. Holy helicopter.
Hey.
I don't know how that captures on screen, but literally that's, you know, obviously the frame rate and the capture of the camera and everything, but that's at 5 cycles right there. And that's at 800 watts-ish.
Give us like 25 hertz and give it the beans.
25 hertz? The thing that's amazing about these drivers, and I know I've got Ramondo here, which I'm glad, I got someone who has no skin in the game who's just watching this happen, is these drivers, the suspension and everything, it's what Kicker's known for. They are extremely linear. I mean, watching what it was doing at 5 hertz and 8 hertz, it's just a piston. The surround's not loose and flopping around. There's not all this stuff going around. It is a very tight and controlled driver. And you, with the meter on there, I want you to see that how much power it's taking to do that. Yeah, these are big power subwoofers, long throw, big magnet. But Kicker is known for efficiency, tight gaps, making things work right, and you're seeing the performance of this driver, not with 2,000 watts of power, that was with 600 watts of power. Okay, there's 2,156 watts at 25 hertz.
You know, it is crazy how I'm looking at this through the actual screen and looking at the sub in person. It's ridiculous.
And that's at 25 hertz, Drew.
I love it. Oh, I can't wait to get my hands on these.
And like I said, I don't know if you can see the SM, I don't know what Tim's focused on, but the SMD, like I said, right now we're at 1,900 watts. So that's 1,900 watts at 25 hertz. And then I'm going to go ahead and change frequency. I'm going to kick it up to 20, I'm going to go to 31. And you'll see the box is moving now. There, and that's at 31 hertz. I'm going to admit I'm having some fun. Yeah. This is 33 hertz. The 15 is 3.5.
That's awesome.
3.5 peak to peak.
Just
and
for reference,
like it.
a Sundown ZV-5 and ZV-6 is also 3.5.
I had to bring this on camera tonight because this is the right group of people to talk and show about this, and we're far enough along in the project that we're doing this kind of testing. I thought it'd be cool to show this on the show tonight. But as you can see, everything we've been talking about the L7X, I hope people understand. Yes, I know you want it now. We want to have it out now. Trust me, in a perfect world that didn't have all the issues of the past 18 months, this driver would have already been out in the marketplace. We're doing everything we can to get this to market as fast as we can, but we also want to make sure it's right. So understand it's got a lot of loopholes and check gates that it has to go through for Kicker before we send it out to the public. So hopefully everyone can appreciate that.
We can test them for you.
I know.
This is a purpose-built, hand-built, in-house driver, and the testing that Kicker does is absolutely insane. I tell people the story about the chamber of death and how the enclosure wood itself was hot to touch because y'all testing a driver for so long.
So if you see that on camera, and if you hopefully you can hear me, that's at 6 hertz.
Sounds like a helicopter.
You just
yeah, it actually, that's a good way to put it. It does.
I want to see what one cycle looks like. I've never seen this.
That's at 6 hertz, and we're putting out about 475 watts into it right now.
Insane. You know, it's crazy how 6 hertz is pushing his box back like this.
Yeah, you can see it on camera, the whole enclosure rocking back and forth.
I literally have to hold the enclosure so it don't move right now.
So there's 800 watts at 6 hertz. So
insane.
Yeah, it is super linear. Like the camera's picking it up really well.
Yeah, people are not ready for Kicker's resurgence back into this game.
Well, in all honesty, when it comes, and this was the right show to, we're far enough along that I felt like this was the right show to show this to this group of people because we've been talking about L7X and, we've answered questions, we've told you. The truth of the matter is when we got into this, it's 4 years ago now, myself, Aaron Surratt, Jeremy Brown, who has a very learned history in SPL competition. He knows all the key guys that are out there. Bill Brown. I mean, we've been going to shows, we've been sponsoring shows, we've been participating. And what's ironic is it's not like we've got a lot of cars in the lanes. We simply went to support the industry. So we've been supporting financially through prizes and cash and everything else, the entire industry for the last 4 years. And we've been doing our research. What are you using? Why? What are you using it for? And when we're coming out with this line of drivers, understand our goal is not to just meet everything else that's going on out there. Our goal is to set a new bar. And this driver is going to set a new bar in linearity, sound quality. Ramondo heard it earlier, and I don't know if it'd do any good to run it on the camera here today, but I played it all the way from this frequency all the way up to 125 hertz, and he even said, it sounds good. I mean, it's very linear across the bandwidth. The entire room is vibrating here. The ceiling rafters and the metal is actually vibrating.
What frequency is that?
33 hertz.
33.
How much power?
Right now we're at 283 watts.
200?
Yeah, 283. There's 52 hertz. There's 60 hertz.
That 60 hertz sounds so good.
70 hertz. 80 hertz.
Ooh.
90 hertz.
335 watts at 90 hertz.
100 hertz. 110 hertz.
That's a huge box.
There's 120 hertz. And basically we're at the end of where a subwoofer is done. But as you can tell, I'm going to start at 120 and just roll it down back to 8.
Oh, like an airplane.
Yep, that's going to be an absolute monster.
Now, I don't know if you'll see that there's two things fighting us here. Number one, I don't know what the camera will pick up. And number two, The KX2400 has a subsonic filter built in at 10 hertz, 24 dB per octave. So obviously at 10 hertz, we kind of start rolling it off.
What's cool about this camera angle is in this frequency, you can really see that bottom corner like doing its thing, kind of stretching apart, stretching.
You can. That actually, so that's 2 cycles right there. And I'm going to, here, I'm going to go off the reservation.
Almost looks like Beamer's fingernails.
All right, so that's 2 hertz. That's 2 hertz, and we're only throwing 54 watts into it.
Oh, you about to turn it up.
Turn it up, Ramondo said. Oh yeah, that thing's moving now.
So there's 2 hertz at 150 watts.
Okay.
There you go. That's XMEC. There you go. Found it. Actually, maybe not. That might just be the end of the cycle causing that little jitter. That's crazy.
Yeah, I think it's the I think it's the just jitter on the tone generator.
Yeah, I don't think that's even near. That's not XMEC yet.
And then
2 hertz, bro.
There's 3 hertz. I mean, if we're gonna have fun, we'll have some fun here. Okay, there's 1,000 watts at 3 hertz.
That's 3 hertz.
There we
3
go.
hertz.
Wow.
Jesus. It's super linear. Just look at it.
That's pretty controlled too.
I say all the time, guys, and I know I work for Kicker. I've been here for 25 years. There's not many other companies that I would want to work for. I respect Steve Irby. I respect what this company does, and it's why I'm here. But I will say this. I know we make very linear operating products that, in the grand scheme of things, are some of the most efficient drivers out there. And if you have any opportunity to spend any time with Steve Irby, he drives it into your head. It's about balance. It's about linearity. It's about control. And so what you're seeing here is, if we take L7X out of the equation and you don't even think about the old SoloX, do we have a woofer that's designed to move the massive amounts of air at the 20 to 40 hertz frequencies that you guys do in these vehicles? No, we don't make a driver right now that does that until you get this one. And what you're seeing here is Steve only knows how to make a driver one way, his way. So this is a driver made his way, but designed to have 3.5 inches peak to peak excursion and do what you guys want to do in your world. So I got to give all props to Steve Irby. This product is going to be amazing.
Oh, you can hear it.
There it go.
Oh, yeah, see? Instantly.
It's gone.
Yeah.
Oops. Good Lord. There we go.
What's up, big kids?
That's at 28.
I bet at a certain frequency, it'll suck that thing all the way into the box.
Don't lose your hat, man. Spit it out.
I think it's going to be a very impressive driver. And I thought, I knew this was in R&D. It was in the cabinet. We listened to him last week. I knew with you guys coming on the show tonight, I thought there'd be no better time to come out and let you see these, get an actual demonstration of these drivers. So for all of you that have tuned in and stayed into the show until this hour, I appreciate it. I didn't want this to take away from getting you guys in the main part of the show, but I knew if anyone would appreciate what we've got going on here, it would be this team of people. And I'm actually excited that Ramondo's here to experience it in person so he can tell you his ideas.
I'm really, I'm thinking about it. I mean, if y'all can feel this air pressure just from 115, it's I'm impressed with it. I must say, I'm impressed. I'm really impressed.
That's what I was looking for. You know exactly what I'm looking for.
Hold
on a
this is
second,
pretty
Bobby.
heavy
I'm
for
going
a
to
15.
just grab a tape measure and tell you right now. Don't.
One-handed over your head, Raimundo.
Steve needs to.
All right, run.
That's Jack.
Run.
He's got
Run.
L7X.
It's heavy. I can say that. It's heavy.
Tim.
Man, look at that 10. That thing looks angry. I want to
It
put,
does.
Yeah, it
I want to put 2 of those under the seat of my truck.
Right? Yeah,
And so
the
give you-
corners make him look angry.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
here's the family, so you can get an idea.
Oh,
So
here we go.
here's the 10, here's the 12, and here's the 15.
Should have made an 8.
How cool would that be? How cool would that be?
We have had lots of requests for other sizes. And that's all I can say about that.
Oh, man.
All the latest information on any new Kicker product can be found every week, Tuesday night, 7:30 Central Time, right here on the Kicker Facebook and YouTube channels. Stay tuned. But, you know, you talk about the 10. I mean, I want a box for it. This is what I want to put in my car, my daily driver car. I just want to do either a single 10 and a bigger ported box, or maybe a pair of them sealed. But, I mean, look at that. Look at that motor. Maybe Timmy can get a little. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. This
is the motors different on each sub kit?
Yes, each motor is designed for that size of subwoofer. The motors are not the same, and that's another thing that you'll find with Steve when he designs a speaker. Is, you know, a lot of people just take the same magnet assembly and they'll throw it on an 8, a 10, or a 12 and just use the same motor. And Steve will flat out tell you, if you're designing a speaker for balance, that you cannot do that, because there is such a thing as having too much motor for the moving mass, and it actually decreases the amount of low bass you get out of the speaker. So yes, these motors are designed for each one. So trust me, we announced this project at the, you know, we did it for the SEMA launch because we couldn't go to SEMA. We were all, and still are, excited about this project. This was supposed to be out first quarter of this year, not as long as it's taking, but none of us could predict what was coming and what happened. We just couldn't.
No, there was no way to know that there's going to be the delays that there have been.
No, because had we known that we were looking at that kind of time frame, we wouldn't have talked about this product that soon. We would have talked about it like now or 3 months ago, not 18 months ago. And then maybe, I don't know, Tim can probably get a good look on it here, but you can see even the terminals that are on these. It is a spring-loaded binding post that is on there, and that will accept all the way up to an 8-gauge wire, no problem. And then along with that, there's actually a barrier block that will also hold an additional 2 8-gauge wires. So if you want to do a barrier system to parallel your coils up, you can, and then you could use the spring-loaded binding post to connect your main wire, or vice versa, or you could come everything in on the barrier block and not even use the spring-loaded binding post, but you get all 3 wiring options on the speaker. Hey, here real quick, Brian Park asked a question, do the blocks line up to each other to keep the wires short and clean? Brian, they actually do, and maybe I can show you, hopefully, there is you can actually come off of the block, you can come around here to this block, and you can actually tie the wire to this landing stand leg right here if you want to. So if you're looking to do something short and clean, you could come off of the block here, you can run over to this one, and then you can actually tie your wire right here. And on the bigger, we may have pulled it because we had some design changes on that one. Yeah, that's why we moved it to there. So basically that support that's right there, we were going to put it here, and as you can see from the castings, there just wasn't any room between the casting and the motors. We actually went over here and pulled it here, but you can take a nice zip tie and run it through there if you want to, and you can use a very short wire and go from terminal block to terminal block and connect that up, and it works really, really well. So hopefully, Brian, that answers your question on that. And thank you for tuning in. Good to see you back in Austin, safe and sound after your trip out to California. Good to see you here tonight. Base Ed 30, that 15 had me at hello.
That's a fact.
I'm just glad. You know, I had a 10 back there too, and I only really wanted to hook up one because I didn't want to go through changing wires and stuff, so I figured we might as well show the big dog, so that's why I brought the 15 out. But man, I think I hope everyone who was tuned in watching got a good view of that woofer and what it's doing. I thank each and every one of you for your time tonight. Thank you for joining the show. Hopefully everyone tuned in and watching got something good out of this. Kicker Unmasked Live Weekly. We love doing things like this. If you like the things like this on the way out the door tonight, if you do us a huge favor, hit that thumbs up button, subscribe. Tell us what you want to hear. You can always reach us, social@kicker.com. With that said, it's my pleasure to be the knucklehead in front of the camera trying to keep the Titanic from hitting the iceberg. Your host, Kip Litzy for Kicker Unmasked Live Weekly. We got Tim, as always, behind cameras doing a great job making sure we get some good close-ups and good video of what's going on here. Backstage, Ernie, as always, he's running the switcher. We got JW back there actually playing Bill Frog tonight, and Sandy's playing the role of JW, so they're both here, but they reversed roles. But either way, thank them for tuning in. This small team of 5 people, we get together. We represent the 220-plus employees right here in the heartland of America, Stillwater, Oklahoma. Stillwater Designs and Audio. or as you know, as Kicker. Thank you for tuning in tonight. We're here every Tuesday night, 7:30 Central Time on our Facebook and YouTube channels. We look forward to seeing you next week. Enjoy the rest of your week. Be safe whatever you're doing. Have a fantastic weekend. If you got that Kicker koozie, put something cold in it, enjoy it. We will see you next Tuesday night. And again, special thanks to my guest, Ramondo Walker, for coming up and joining us live.
Again,
brother.
thank you.
Appreciate it. And I can't say it enough. Thank him. His service is what keeps this country free and allows us to enjoy everything we do, including this. Good night, everyone. It's my pleasure. Have a great week.